Alliums. The genus including onions, garlic, leeks, shallots, and chives originated in Central Asia and represents one of humanity's oldest cultivated plant groups, forming the foundational flavor base across global culinary traditions. Look at that, for 5,000 years. Here they are. And we're going to be talking about these. Mostly we're going to be talking about the onion, because I think the onion is universal and super important over these other alliums. So we've got some of our collection in the Food Museum displayed out here for you to see. We're going to be looking at that. Let's just go to the slideshow for now. So yeah, onions are one of the world's oldest cultivated crops, originating in Central West Asia 5,000 years ago. Some say it was in Persian lands. They are easy to store, transport, and grow. They quickly became a staple food and medicine across early human civilizations. Here's this old onion cellar. We've got some catalogs, seed catalogs, all featuring the onion. Another image of those onion cellars. Onions are easy to braid, so you could carry them and go house to house and neighborhood to neighborhood. They fed the pyramid makers. They were placed in tombs. The Greek athletes used them, a basic thing for Roman soldiers, and sometimes used as currency to pay rent. Here you can see the Egyptians. I think that the onion is the most featured food plant in various ancient Egyptian art. Nowadays it's a high-speed, big machinery harvest. Here this woman has got her, she's topping off the greenery on them to be able to store them, and she's using some shears or onion toppers like that. This one's a real old pair that we have. A lot of this collection, by the way, that we brought out for you, I haven't seen for some time, so it's just wonderful that I get to see it and share it with you all. Various parts of the onion plant, and here's some of the ways that around the world people are eating it. I mean, there's so many different dishes. This is just some on Wikipedia, by the way, has a huge list of them. But of course, who cannot love fried onion rings? Yeah, we're going to have some of those tomorrow, I think. Onion is so important in Indian cuisine that it has toppled governments. Look at that. Why politicians fear onions? These protests, because when the prices soar and people can't afford them, I mean, it's a basic part of their cuisine. So these are a list of some of the governments that have fallen over the years over the rising costs and unaffordability of onions. This slide explains why onions matter so much to the Indians. Universal consumption. I mean, basically you don't, in many cuisines, you don't start making something without you first sauteing some onions. It's also a barometer of competence for people, see if the government can supply a basic food source. And and so also weather plays a factor, because if the concentrated supply is from one region and then there's some weather. Look at these popular onion dishes, all delicious, all wonderful. And that's not even to mention the fact that onions are in all the curries and all the sauces and all that. It's just a vegetable. How political can it be? Yeah, foundation of Indian cooking, and well, cooking worldwide, really. Bermuda onion, an island in the Atlantic Ocean, onions got there in 1616, became a really important export product. It was nicknamed the onion patch. And look at this, there's kind of a thin, flat onion. Here it shows them packing them up. Here, just out of harvest, the Bermuda onion. A wonderful early 20th century photo of the packing. Lots of different age groups involved in this. Look at her. Mark Twain, who visited Bermuda many times, said, "The onion is the pride and joy of Bermuda. It is her jewel, her gem of gems. In her conversation, her pulpit, her literature, it is most frequent and eloquent figure." Fortunately, around right after World War II, they exported a bunch of the seed to America, and Texas took over with producing this kind of sweet, flat kind of onion, and they lost out on the trade to Bermuda. But this is a fun card. And then they still honor their heritage by dropping this gold onion on New Year's Eve from one of their town halls. Look at this onion tart, Bermuda onion tart. There's French onion soup, classic comfort dish, and it's now, you know, French onion soup you can hope to get just about anywhere in the world. This was this all-night farmers market and supplier of food for the city of Paris and the restaurants, and it was open all night, and all sorts of people coming home from theater and all sorts of events, and just the whole range of Parisian society showed up at Les Halles in those days. And one of the things that they would have in common was eating the French onion soup, and it has this, of course, this cheese gratin top. I certainly remember visiting Les Halles and having that late nights or early mornings. Way out on the far tip of Brittany in France is the city of Roscoff, where they've been growing onions, I guess, since 1647, when they brought some seeds from Portugal. The climate really, these pink onions throve, famous for their sweet taste, long shelf life. So it was hard. It was easier for these farmers and these producers in Brittany to go across the channel to England and around to Wales, rather than making a long trip and difficult trip all the way to the big cities of Paris, for instance. So the Roscoff onions became a product that was very common. And these guys would have warehouses over there, and then they would go door to door and through the communities on their bikes. And they became known as the Onion Johnnies, right? Yeah, Onion Johnnies. There's the information. Wonderful. There's a museum now, a walking tour. Roscoff. Got to visit it. Roscoff now has a onion festival. There's their big onion, all onion made out of onions. There's lots of other festivals about onions around the world. Vidalia in Georgia has a big festival, very famous for their sweet onions as well. They also have a big onion. And then in Texas, they also have a big onion and a big festival. You can see some of our Vidalia memorabilia over there. We'll get that in a minute. In the Catalonia part of Spain, they're famous for their tender green onions. Maybe it's more of a scallion, I'm not sure. But they have a big festival and they celebrate it, and you can see right in the street they're grilling it. And then they have various competitions to eat them like this. So this is something I'd love to visit. It's become now a huge attraction to go there. All these food festivals around the world, especially in Europe, are just great places to visit, and they're very celebrated. About these onion domes, there's the St. Basil's in Moscow. You've got Taj Mahal and these other places. I'm not sure exactly what it has to do with onions, other than certainly it's this beautiful onion shape. You can see the shape of onions there. This is fun. Look at this onion lady. This is an old trade card from the late 19th, early 20th century. And this town of Finland, somehow you don't think of onions in Finland, maybe, but it's a universal food, and this is the symbol of the town. Crane, his onion carrying his beak. Leave the subject of onions without referencing why they cause tears when you are cutting them up. I love this painting. This is by Lily Martin Spencer in 1852. I didn't know about this artist, but you can look her up. She's wonderful. Look at this. This is really capturing everyday life, which is what her specialty was. So yeah, you got to use a sharp knife. You can't cut it on the equator. You got to cut it from pole to pole. And there's other tips for you here of how to manage preparing onions, cutting them up without getting all teary-eyed. Yeah, you know that for those of you who watch this regularly, we have these big seed catalogs that from the early 20th century, and then look at this. This is a catalog of onion varieties in America. This is from what 1941, and this is everything they knew about the varieties in those days. Probably way more varieties of onion than you thought there would be possible. Here's the Fanatic's Ecstatic Aromatic Guide to Onions, Shallots, and Leeks. Here's this wonderful book, Oscar Mendelsohn, A Salute to Onions. I think we did a show about these two children's books, by the way. This is a blue onion Meissen plate, porcelain plate. And some people say, oh no, they're not onions. I think they're very much onions. They may be a peach, but it's certainly known as the blue onion plate. Very famous Meissen ware. This is pickled red onions. Not my favorite, but here's a couple of beautiful onions. And we've got some garlic and a leek, all alliums. So the Vidalia, Georgia, very famous for their sweet onion. Made a big deal about it. Lots of memorabilia, big festival. There's the Yummian. They're kind of a little official character. And then you've got Sweet Taste with sweet Vidalias. This is onion country, the areas and the communities around Vidalia where they grow these. This is not a Vidalia onion, but he's a really cute little character, isn't he? He can do the little dancing there. Now this, I'm not speaking of dancing, these two characters are duking it out. Here's I'm a Vidalia fan. Now this is a sheriff onion. And then this is a scallion, a little scallion guy. So let's, so yeah, we've got some not real, but very real looking scallions and onions. And yeah, so these are the real ones. Let's move over here. Vampires do not like biting into people who have eaten garlic, so these are little cartoon characters from a little Dracula show. Here's the entire book of garlic. You got a garlic roaster, a ceramic thing. I don't know much about that. Of course, garlic press. There's this woman with her garlic hat and garlic potato chips. How about that? Huh? You had garlic potato chips? This painting of 3 onions, by the way, that's been in Meredith's home when she was growing up. She remembers that. And then, of course, the Valencia Spanish onion. We're not doing that this show, but also another famous onion variety. The slideshow, garlic, ancient crop also with rich history, stamina boosting rations. And look at this. This is a medieval manuscript showing a harvest, 15th century. Look, here's some of the ways that people around the world indulge in garlic cuisine. There's a big festival in Gilroy, California, between San Francisco and Monterey area, and this is where they grow most of the garlic. I think California produces about 73%. No, China produces 73% of the world's garlic, but California produces the most for the U.S. Another allium is Leeks, ancient crop, Mediterranean area, prized by everybody, the Romans, the Egyptians, and connected deeply into Welsh heritage. St. David's Day. Supposedly when they were fighting the Saxons, St. David said to put a leek. This is before armies had uniforms. So put a leek in your cap to let us know that you're on our side. They've been doing it ever since. And then who does not love potato leek soup? Vichyssoise is what it's known as in French, and also craw, or caw, the traditional Welsh potato and leek soup. Onions, or no, sometimes it's called green onions, spring onions. Again, some 5,000 years have been around. Look at this Scallion pancake from what is that? A Korean national dish. This is available now in supermarkets in frozen form, and we eat a lot of this. Champ, Irish dish of mashed potatoes with scallions, butter, and milk. Here's some scallions growing in the garden. And then it's really important in Chinese cuisine for sure. The Trinity, ginger, garlic, and scallions. And they make, sort of the beginning of lots of cuisines. And of course, well, it was really scallions in cooking around the world is so important. It's such a great resource. Allium. We got the shallot, which I think of as mostly a French specialty. You can see some of the parts of it. Pickled shallots, I'm not sure I've had that. I think this is Korean also. Very popular shallot crisps, deep fried bits of shallot. It looks delicious. I've never had that. Here's some of the varieties of shallot. And it grows kind of in a cluster like this, unlike the other alliums. Now talking about chives. Very loaded with all sorts of good vitamins, essential to a lot of dishes. The Iranians use chives a lot and other herbs in their cooking, and this is one of their traditional dishes, gourmet sabzi, national herb stew. And then there's the pocket, chive pocket, what do they call it? Chive pockets, yeah, in Korea. Eggs, garlic, chives in a flour wrapper, then pan, fried, or baked. Oh, no, it's Chinese. Oh, sorry. Very popular in this one section of Shandong in China, and I guess it's spread around. Look at this beautiful image of the chive plant. Really, our look at alliums, our salute to alliums, the chives, the onions, the garlics, the leeks. Am I forgetting one of them? Scallions, yeah. So if you like these shows, by the way, you can subscribe. It's free on YouTube. You can tell your friends. You can also leave us messages and maybe suggest programs. We sure enjoy bringing out our collections for you to enjoy and for us to look back at these things and also to learn a lot about them. So enjoy your alliums, and we'll see you next time.